the Lackland Gateway Archives. This is Archiving with Amanda. I'm Amanda, your 37th Training Wing Archivist. And on today's session, I'm going to show you how we determine the dates of photographs. For example, I have two photographs here with me today. This one behind me that I need to determine a date to, and this one right here that I know the date is July 1950. There are many ways that we go about determining dates of photos. We use runways, aircrafts, when they came into service, when they left service, cars, and land development. So in the 1950 photo, I see that the runways look very different than the one back here. This one I know is post-1955 because this runway right here wasn't constructed until then. So that's one way for me to determine that I know that this photo right back here is later than this one right here. Now we don't have a clear shot of land development or vehicles or aircrafts in either photo, with the exception that there's some aircrafts right up in here in this little portion of this photo that we could use a magnifying glass to determine the type of aircraft. And then we can go search for its dates of service. You can also see that this provides a wider scope of this land development around Kelly Air Force Base, which would also determine that this is a much later picture than 1950. If we could get a clear shot of any vehicles that were on the roads or parked in parking lots, we could use that too. Vehicles are a good way to get at least a minimum decade for when a photograph was taken. If you're doing this at home with your own collection, there's things that you can do yourself by some of the same means. You can use cars as well if the photos are taken outside. The cars are a great way to determine the decades for your own personal photos, much like for the photos of the 37th Training Wing. You can do it by hairstyles. Hairstyles vary from era to era. Can't miss the flapper bob. You can also do it by clothing. Clothing is another great way to determine at least the general decade of which it comes. Some clothing styles fade into the next one, and of course they always make a comeback. You can also use the decorations, indoor and outdoor. We all know the brown Paisley's 70s couch, so you would know that couch came from the 70s, maybe the early 80s. Other things like that. Or if you know your grandma had a certain china set. If the china set is visible in the photo, you can date that photo. And that's it. This is how we do it. Find out about this session and other cool bits of our history on Twitter. From the Lackland Gateway Archives at the home of the Gateway to the United States Air Force, Lackland Air Force Base, I'm Amanda. Till next time.